A bill in the state house would add North Carolina to the growing list of states that allow for constitutional carry. Our next guest says that's a good idea. He's written a column at carolinajournal.com with the headline, Time to Pass Constitutional Carry in North Carolina. Ray Nothstine is opinion editor for Carolina Journal. And before we talk about why this is a good idea, remind us, for those who know concealed carry, what does constitutional carry mean?
Constitutional carry just recognizes laws that already should be in effect, that if you put on a jacket or you put on a sweatshirt, you're actually illegal if you don't have a concealed carry permit if it's covering the weapon. So what it does, in essence, is say that the Second Amendment itself is your permit to carry, whether concealed or unconcealed. So it's just actualizing the Second Amendment, so you don't have to get a permission slip from the state to say, I'm carrying a firearm.
And this is something that has caught on in a number of states, including a couple very recently.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, there's 18 states currently that recognize constitutional carry. Montana and Utah are the latest states that have passed it. There's been 2 states that have passed them with Democrat governors, Missouri and West Virginia. The West Virginia governor did switch parties eventually, but he vetoed the legislation. So they were able to override vetoes in those 2 states. But states like Vermont have had constitutional carry since its inception. So they had something in their constitution that made it clear that they weren't able to outlaw concealed carry for any citizens, even during the big gun control era of the 20th century.
You mentioned in your column, in fact, that New Hampshire, Maine, and Vermont, all states that people would not expect to be far red meat eating states, highly Republican, all have constitutional carry. There's legislation now in North Carolina, and this is something that has had a recent history in this state.
Yeah, that passed in 2017. There's been bills introduced by several lawmakers. Kidwell's the most recent one. Representative Pittman has introduced bills before, and there's been other members of the General Assembly that have introduced constitutional carry. It's really popular amongst grassroots conservatives across the state. And I think it also makes the point that the Second Amendment obviously is essential. It's in the Bill of Rights. But what it says is that really that the citizens are the masters of the government. They're the ones that get to decide the rules. And so constitutional carry, like I mentioned earlier, just actualizes that amendment for more people. And I would encourage people that are new to firearms and they have a desire to go out maybe and get a handgun to protect themselves, they should still go through the permit process, because there's important safety instruction. There's important, you get reciprocity with other states. So it doesn't void any of those important factors of the concealed carry permit. And it actually, if you have the permit, it gives you a little bit more leeway in where you can carry with this constitutional carry bill. But I think the constitutional carry bill is still essential because, look, it says this to North Carolinians. Why do people in 3 states in New England, why are they more worthy of having these rights than North Carolinians? Is there something inherent in North Carolina where we're not as responsible than somebody in Vermont, New Hampshire, or Maine? Are they better citizens? Are they safer citizens than North Carolinians? So North Carolinians should ask their lawmakers, why in all these other states are they passing constitutional carry, but we can't get it through the General Assembly here?
Another point that you make is on a more practical front, and that is if the Biden administration decides that it wants to have new restrictions on a federal level involving firearms, having the state take action on something like this would be of benefit to a firearm owner.
Yeah, and I think this gets down to the legislative component, is there's so many states across the union that are introducing firearms legislations. Some of those laws are really good. Some of those laws could easily be overturned. But I think, again, getting back to the central point, is you can't actualize the Second Amendment any better than this by constitutional carry. I mean, Madison writes in the Federalist Papers that the reason that they have the Second Amendment is because European countries didn't trust their citizens with arms. But here in the U.S. and here in North Carolina, the whole concept of government is that citizens are the masters over the politicians and the bureaucrats. And so this actualizes that to such a great degree, and it recognizes the plain meaning of the text, thou shalt not infringe on these rights. And so I think it's important that citizens and lawmakers alike recognize that universal truth.
I'm going to throw out one sentence from your column and have you react to it. Those who are law-abiding citizens should not be made into a criminal simply because they decide to conceal their weapon without a piece of paper from the government. It all seems to boil down to that, doesn't it?
Right. And the piece of paper for people that are advocates of constitutional carry is the Second Amendment itself. I mean, nothing is regulated like firearms in this country. We've gone through different Supreme Courts with different interpretations of firearms. You've had a lot of different governors and localities say different things, and the court has allowed for some regulation. But it's up to the lawmakers, I think, and the citizens to press the government and challenge federal overreach on this issue, particularly now that you have a Supreme Court that, with the Heller decision, is much more open to the plain meaning of the text and actualizing that text for citizens across the nation. And hopefully here in North Carolina that lawmakers will get on board and be a little bit more aggressive in that manner.
The headline of the column, once again, is Time to Pass Constitutional Carry in North Carolina. You'll find it at carolinajournal.com. Its author is Ray Nothstine, opinion editor at Carolina Journal. Thanks so much.
Thank you.